Okay, thank you. We'd like to call to order today's meeting, Tuesday, February 8th, 2022, of the Design Review Board meeting. Teresa, are we in compliance with the Freedom of Information Act?
Yes, sir, we are.
All right, thank you very much. Teresa, will you please call roll for us today?
Certainly. Mr. Brown?
Here.
Miss Lippert?
Here.
Mr. Karstens?
Here.
Mr. Bassett?
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Molesky?
Here.
And Miss Voss is excused.
Okay, thank you very much. Now to move on to the approval of the agenda, does staff have any changes to the agenda?
Excuse me, no, sir, not at this time.
Okay, thank you, Chris. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Any opposed? None opposed, so the motion passes by a vote of, looks like 5-0. Now we will move on to the approval of the minutes for the special meeting of January 12th, 2022. Board members, do you have any changes to the minutes? Take that as a no. If there are none, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of the January 12th, 2022 meeting?
Move for approval.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. I guess we lost Ryan. Private Ryan, are you out there?
Am I back?
I see him. He raised his hand.
There you go. All right, good. So we have none opposed, so the motion passes by a vote of 5-0. Moving on to appearances by citizens. Teresa, do we have any appearances by the fine citizens of Hilton Head?
Mr. Chairman, we do not have appearance by citizens today. I will note that public comments concerning agenda items were to be submitted electronically via the open town hall portal. Upon the conclusion of the public comment period, there were no comments of record. In addition to submitting comments on the portal, citizens were provided the opportunity to call into the meeting to comment on agenda items. However, there were no requests to give public comments by phone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Teresa. Moving on to unfinished business, there is none. So that went quick, and now we'll move on to new business, starting with an alteration. Mullen and Wiley repaint DRB number 000-200-2022 with a presentation from staff.
Thank you, Acting Chairman. This project is a color change to the existing offices of Mullen and Wiley. To note, the white powder-coated railings were replaced recently as a matter of maintenance. So in other words, staff, they replaced white railings before, so staff would have allowed it because it was an existing condition. The decision to paint the building came after the railings were installed. The railings are powder coated. Staff recommends approval as submitted, even with the white, because the white would have been grandfathered and the railings are new. The site is outlined in red on your screen. Across 278 is kind of that sweep across the screen here. The Bank of America building is directly across Highway 278 or William Hilton Parkway. The public or the Harris Teeter on the north end is in your upper right-hand corner of the screen, along with Main Street, the Main Street development. This is a picture of the building. Again, you can see the railings that are down. And here is the building as it is today with the new railings that have been replaced. And they're proposing to paint the main part of the building, the grassland. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the color of the shutters, but it's a darker green. Those colors were both on display outside of Town Hall for your review. The building sits back off of 278 behind an existing buffer and is not visible from 278. Oh, here we go. The grassland, this is not a very good rendition. The grassland is a green, it's not a gray. Again, with the green back, it pulls more green than it does black. And if there aren't any questions of staff, that concludes staff's presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Chris, is the applicant online?
I am.
Hello, please state your name for the record, and you have 10 minutes to share any more information that you would like to share with us, please.
My name is Lene Russell. I am, I guess, a representative from Highsmith Construction, and we are the general contractor on the project. I think Chris summed it up very nicely. You know, definitely, in our opinion, be an improvement to the existing colors that are there on the building, and put that decision in your hands.
All righty, thank you very much, Linnea. I guess we'll begin our discussions with Mr. Ben Brown, please.
Good afternoon. Chris, I have a question, if you may know the answer. The Main Street Village, was that developed mid-90s-ish? Do you?
Ben, I don't know. I would think it would be a little bit earlier than that.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get an idea, when was the original color scheme approved for the building? Would that have been by the design review board?
I'm sorry, Ben, I don't know the answer to that one either. I'm certainly happy to chase that down if you would like me to.
No, it's not necessary. I mean, knowing the area well, I support the application as submitted. Reviewing our design guideline, I can see where it's not necessarily what we would encourage for new development, but I do support the application. No additional comments. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ben. Moving on to Annette Lippert, please.
Thank you. If I can just get the clarification, all the wood trim, as well as I believe there's stucco headers that are currently white, all of that's going to go to the alabaster, with the only exception being the handrails. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Lene, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You can take it.
Just to be clear, it's my understanding, and Lene, I don't want to step on your toes, but
No, you're fine.
after talking to Mr. Highsmith, can you all see my cursor?
Yes.
These, I don't know if these are the headers you're talking about. These would end up being the grassland color. So they're just a little, I don't know, the separation between the first and the second story. But yes, all the wood, the columns, and the wood would be the alabaster.
Okay, so no, those are the trim bands, I guess. And then at the chimney, it gets to be one thick trim band, both at the top and the bottom. So are you saying that would also be the grassland then?
You know, Annette, we did not discuss the bands on the chimney, but I would assume that they would be the grassland as well.
Okay, and then if you can just go over the top of the windows, there seems to be sort of the stucco color, and then a couple inches higher seem to be these headers. I mean, to me, I wouldn't want to see the entire body be the grassland. So I guess I would need some clarification on those colors. Because in my mind, I guess I was seeing the trim band and the header and the chimney cap, and then the stair with the exception of the handrails. And I guess that just brings up the question, the risers, all of that I assumed would be the alabaster. The colors I'm fine with. I'm just trying to make sure I understand what's going where.
I think the answer to your question is everything that's white now would remain white with the exception of these trim bands.
Okay, I guess my condition then or would be that that's fine for the thin trim bands, but on the chimney, I think the trim band should at least the cap, the chimney cap should be the alabaster. And the headers should also be the alabaster. And then I'm okay with the rest of the body going to the grassland green. And the shutter colors are fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lippert. Next is Mr. Karstens.
My only comment and kind of piggyback on Annette's is that I'm fine with the colors. I was interested in the downspouts. The one corner looks like one might be the body color and another one might be white. I mean, I think traditionally we've encouraged them to be the body color. So, you know, obviously not the gutters themselves, but the downspouts would ultimately be that grass lawn color, I would say. That's it. Yeah, again, that one corner, that's the thing I noticed. So it looked like one was one and one was the other, so.
Okay, anything else, Judd, or that's?
No, that is it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ryan Bassett, please.
I'm okay with approval as submitted with the addition of the conditions proposed by Annette Lippert and Judd Karstens.
Okay, thank you very much. I guess, you know, my comments are probably both for this project, and this could even be a comment here. I know this is probably just a little simple repaint and everything, but I think it would be very helpful for the DRB moving forward if maybe we had the colors labeled with arrows so we could specifically understand, you know, what portion of the foundation, the banding, you know, all the other the trim around the windows, you know, the stair stringers, are all those staying white or those going alabaster? It just seems like we're just kind of, we all agree we like the colors, but it's not really clear on what's to be what. So I would think moving forward, I would like to see maybe a little more clarity. It would help me, and I'm sure, not to put words in the other DRB members' mouth, but I'm sure it would help them as well. With that being said, I mean, those are my only comments, and I just wanted to see, does anybody else have anything that they'd wish to add at this time?
Staff hears what you're saying and understands, and we'll try to get that moving forward with other applications.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Chris. I guess with that being said, then may I have a motion on the application?
I'll make a motion. I have to admit, let me see. I don't think I have the DRB number up. So maybe Chris, you can help me out with the DRB number. I
Yes,
would like
ma'am.
to make a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The DRB number is 000-202-2022.
I'm sorry, I need that again. That was all zeros and twos and I got jumbled.
That's fine. 000-202-2022.
All right, thank you. I would like to make a motion for approval with conditions for DRB 000-202-2022 with the following conditions. The colors are approved. The chimney cap, window headers, stair riser and stringers to all be alabaster. The thin horizontal trim bands to go to the body color, the downspouts to also go to the body color, and the white powder coated railings to remain as is.
All righty, thank you very much. Is there a second? Anybody?
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Judd. Teresa, could you please call the roll?
Certainly. Mr. Brown,
For the motion,
Ms. Lippert,
Approve.
Mr. Karstens,
Approved.
Mr. Bassett,
Approve.
Mr. Molesky.
Approved. So the motion passes by a vote of 5-0. Thank you very much. Next, we will move on to our second presentation, the Sands re-roof, DRB number 000. Write this down, Annette, 000-203-2022. Have a staff presentation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This project is to change the mansard roofing from a fiber cement to standing seam metal. Staff recommends approval as submitted. The site is outlined in red in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. The road directly slide south of it is Lagoon running here. So this is Lagoon Road. This is Pope Avenue down here. At the bottom of your screen, you can see the very edge of Caligny Circle and North Forest Beach running up the right-hand bottom side of the screen. It's important to note that this is Caligny Shopping Center right here and the new hotel right here. This is the proposed color. Again, it was available for your review outside Town Hall. This is the building. It's a standing seam metal roof, so a detail of that they're proposing replacing it with. And if there are no questions, that concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you very much, Chris. Is the applicant present?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Applicant, you have 10 minutes to share any additional information you'd like to share with us, please.
We are glad to get the job, and we're the board was having second thoughts, I guess, about the cementous fiber. It is a lot heavier material than the standing seam. They're both great wind resistance because of the lap joint on the standing seam and the cementous fiber. But this is what they wanted, and this is what we do. So we're presenting it to you and hope you'll approve it, and we'll move on. But I think it'd be a improvement to the look of the building. They look more modern. They're using a lot of standing seam metal accent roof mansard type today around the island. So I've been here 42 years. I think it's changed for that. It needs to change there. And I leave it to the board to decide whether they want to move forward or not.
Perfect. Okay, well, thank you very much, sir. I guess we'll move on to discussion by the board, starting with Mr. Bassett, please.
Yes, I had no real questions or concerns about it. I'm very familiar with the property. Ran by and looked at the color sample. I'm okay with the color. I think the standing seam metal roof is a good kind of cleaned up look for the building. It's been used, very similar application on other condo complexes in the surrounding area in Forest Beach area. And I think it would be a welcome improvement to the buildings.
Thank you very much. Mr. Carstens.
Just looking at the overall kind of roof line there, I just would like to make sure that the detailing, the roof transitions from a pitched roof to more of the near vertical. As far as that transition and some of the trim pieces existing, I just want to make sure the interaction of the standing seam makes sense. And knowing that there are a bunch of corners, the treatment with the trim, it looks like, the roof is it sits out from a lot of windows. So again, I'm good with the color and the treatment. I just want to make sure that obviously those ends of the roofing, the trim pieces make sense, and then the trim where it transitions to that upper roof section is consistent. I'm going to defer to Annette if there's some more definitive jargon or a fine tooth comb that needs to be dragged over any of these treatments. But again, I'm on board with the color and the treatment itself. I just want to make sure that those corners and those ends are properly addressed. They just didn't show up in the detail as such. So that's all.
Well, I call it a cap. It's a cap on the top and you're capping the sides. It is a detail, and you call it like manicure in the end of the standing seam. So it has a little form drip edge, on the end of it. And it's just I call it a corner trim or a channel. And then on top of it, do the same thing. The match made out of Sierra tan, the same metal. They look nice. They'll be finished up nice.
Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carstens. Next, Ms. Lippert, please.
Thank you. I have to admit, the photo and the roof plan that I'm seeing on the Google Maps say two different things. So I guess I have to own that I didn't drive by the site because I think the color is fine, but I hear what Judd is saying about the transition details. And I also have the same question. I looked at it on Google Maps and it seemed to have almost a trim band, but I know you're saying the coping at the top is going to be the same material, same color as the standing seam. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you have
Coping
any?
is the word I was looking for, not channel.
And if I saw correctly, you're proposing a 17-inch seam
Ma'am.
spacing.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
have any concerns about oil canning on that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, and as Judd was asking, because you're going over to the verticals at each condition, you're gonna just have a piece of sort of the flashing trim at each of those verticals overlapping onto the wall. Is that correct?
Overlapping on the kind of little facial. I think there's a little facial there and then some siding on the side of that little wall that it runs back. And it'll be the metal will have a little coping piece, yes. I call it like a finished corner going up the side of it. That'll transition from the standing seam to the trim.
Okay. So, I mean, I do think they're pretty standard details, Judd. I completely hear what you're saying. It certainly would have been nice to see those details and know how those are definitely going to get handled. But I'm feeling comfortable and feel comfortable supporting the application.
We'll do better. We were getting the face, concerned with what the face is looking like. And we're going to trim it, but I just didn't think about taking pictures and submitting in the inside, but we'll do a better job next time.
And just to clarify, I think what we're not just asking is more photos, we're asking to see the actual details. I realize this is just a re-roof, but if we're thinking of typically we want wall sections and section details so that we're all feeling comfortable with, you know, how different materials terminate and connect to other existing materials. So it's not so much, and again, this is more us partially directing also to staff, but also making you aware that the more information we have, the more comfortable we can be in supporting an application.
Well, I must say you're very thorough.
Alrighty, guys, thank you very much. If there's no further questions there, we'll move on to Mr. Brown, please.
Nothing to add. I support the application as well. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and I concur with everyone. So does anyone have any additional comments that they would like to add at this time? All right, then may I have a motion on the application, please?
Since I noted down the DRB number, I will make a motion for DRB 0002003-2022 to be approved as submitted.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Second.
All righty, thank you very much. Teresa, will you please call the roll for us?
Certainly. Mr. Brown,
For the motion.
Ms. Lippert,
Approved.
Mr. Karstens,
Approved.
Mr. Bassett. Mr. Bassett, if you'll unmute.
Approved.
Thank you. Mr. Molesky.
Approved, so the motion passes by a vote of 5-0. Thank you very much, sir. Now we'll move on to board business. Would anybody like to share any comments with the board?
Thank you.
Mr. Karstens, we have a witness.
Obviously, we want to recognize and we appreciate David McAllister's contributions to our board over the last few years. We're looking forward to meeting his replacement, but we wish him well, knowing that he's still working on the island, and you know, I'm sure we'll be seeing him in some form of an application. So.
Judd, to that end, there will be a proper presentation of the Crystal Award when we get it in. But yeah, we will recognize it officially too.
And I concur with Judd completely. He will be missed. He always had very good comments, linking it directly to the LMO, which always was very helpful.
I agree. All right, well, thank you very much. I guess with that, we'll move on to staff report. Chris, any corridor?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. We have several minor corridor approvals that you all have asked for. I'm going to run through them quickly. If you have any questions, please let me know. At 616 William Hilton Parkway, there was a telecommunication generator added to that tower. At 130 Matthews Drive, there was a gas tank and enclosure at the side of the building permitted. This was the side away from the street. At 1 North Forest Beach, there was a service window added for One Hot Daddy's, I think is the name of the restaurant. But it was a service window that was added, and that's inside the Caligny Shopping Center. At 1018 William Hilton Parkway, that's the new social bakery. It's where the old Dairy Queen location was. We allowed them to repaint part of the building to comply with Dairy Queen's objection to that color remaining on the building. So again, it was a color that was already on the building, and we allowed them to paint over another color. I think it was the red. At 282 Spanish Wells, There was a co-location of a telecommunication antenna. The same at 10 Riding Trail. I'm sorry, that was an upgrade of an antenna. And at 91 Lighthouse, there was another generator added to a telecommunication yard. At 105 Wild Horse, there was an upgrade to a telecommunication antenna. At 86 Helmsman Way, this is the marina. Carolina Crab added an outdoor bar, which was approved. It's not visible from the water or the parking lot. And at 91 North Sea Pines Drive, there was another upgrade to a telecommunication antenna. And that's your weather for tonight.
All righty, I'm back. Thank you very much. All righty, well, I would like to say thank you to Chris and Teresa and all the Design Review Board members today for your assistance. And if there's no other business before the board, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.